Hi friends! I was re-inspired to do the 100 Heads or the Mets 100 Heads challenge after seeing Jess Karp's video where she experiments with a lot of different art media. And I thought that was a really fun way to draw 100 heads, so I decided to do that. I'll leave all relevant links in the description as always. I've included bits and pieces of speed paint since most of you on Instagram requested those. Okay, let's get started. For the first spread, I just wanted to use pencils, and to add a bit of flavor, I used some water-soluble graphite to cover the backgrounds. These first few portraits took a lot more time, and I was being way too careful and tight with these. So for the second spread, I laid down some acrylic gouache backgrounds and went over those with colored pencils, graphite, and some white highlights. The effect is really cool. One downside is it's really hard to erase on acrylic gouache. Moving on to the third spread, I decided to finally put the Muji gel pens I had to use. These were fun for the first couple portraits before I quickly grew tired of all the lines I had to make. So I decided to go for a much more vibrant, colorful gouache look for the next spread, and I loved it. There are a couple of pieces that didn't turn out quite to my liking, but I love drawing or painting with a brush rather than a pen or pencil, so this was a fun spread. After all that color, I decided to give pens another try, this time with the Muji fountain pen. On the left side, I also went over with light washes of water to add more tones to the portraits. But I think I ended up liking the right side where I didn't do that. I went back to color and gouache for the next spread, and I stuck to more monochrome themes as the references were mostly of sculptures. I put down a flat base color first, then with a clean brush lifted up some highlights. Then I added 2 or 3 more layers in increasing value to carve out the details. On the right, I really liked the initial pencil sketches I'd done, so to preserve those, I just painted over them with light watercolor washes to keep the spread more even and coherent. Moving on to brush pens, I think I was feeling too confident at this point that I decided to use the brush pens directly without a light sketch first. I didn't quite like the results and had to redo one of them. Not my best work here. Since I didn't want to torture myself and continue using the brush pen, I decided to layer the following side with black acrylic gouache and then paint over that with a white Posca brush pen and then carve out the details with fine liners. I really like the effect that this created, and I think I want to explore this more. So this next spread, I used some Derwent drawing pencils blended with a white Prismacolor pencil. I think these need a bit more depth, but overall I had a much better experience with these pencils than the ones I had on hand. Another thing that I picked up was some India ink. I did pencil sketches first, and then went over those lines with a dip pen, then added a layer or 2 of ink washes to add more depth. And finally, I also added a black background wash. This ink wasn't the best as I didn't get even coverage for the background, but I guess it'll do for now. I thought this would be good practice for the next project I'll be doing, which will be in ink, hint hint. And the final few supplies I got were some Polychromos pencils, and I was thoroughly impressed with how easy it was to use them. So this next spread was entirely using these pencils. The paper does have some tooth to it, which resulted in uneven coverage, but all in all, I loved these pencils and the portraits I created with these. Okay, we're down to the last spread. At this point, I'd run out of ideas on which media to use. So on the left, you'll see a very mixed media approach. There were colored pencils, gouache, fine liners, Posca pens, and other things involved. And on the right side, as voted on Instagram, I decided to finish strong with watercolors, and I think these last 3 portraits turned out much better than I was expecting. And I also want to note that I did take more than 10 days to complete all 100 portraits. Let me know which spread you enjoyed the most in the comments below. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.